Hi guys, welcome back to Tara Makes It Up. I'm here today with my lovely friends and lovely model Sarah, who you might recognise from another video I did, which was like a soft pink romantic sort of look. So we thought we'd do something a bit different today, don't we, Sarah? Mm. So it's going to be a little bit rock and roll, a little bit smudgy, a bit smoky, but you know, nice wearable for an evening or party look, and it's all using drugstore makeup, so excluding the brushes. That's the only place you're going to catch me out, guys. So I'm starting first with Rimmel Match Perfection, and I'm using the shade 103. I really like this foundation. I find it quite similar to the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua actually. It has kind of like a medium coverage, a little bit dewy, which is nice, but it's a super lovely foundation. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this. Sarah already has gorgeous skin, so we're just gonna do a little bit of evening out to balance. So I'm gonna go straight onto the eyes first, guys, because I think I always like to do a bit of concealer last in case there's any fall down. But to kind of prime the eyes and go straight in with a darker colour, I'm gonna take the Barry M. This is the eyeshadow pencil, waterproof and smooth, long wearing, so it acts nicely with other makeup on top, but also on its own they're really long lasting. And this is kind of like a pewtery, almost reminds me a little bit of MAC Satin Taupe. So if you like that colour, so close for me, Sarah. So I'm going to take this all over the lid. It's definitely like a sort of cream version of Satin Taupe by MAC actually, so it's really good for kind of a pretty rock and roll type smoky eye. And then I'm going to take a MAC 217 and I'm going to start to blend that upwards. And these do set quite quickly, guys, so you're not going to have loads and loads of time to work with them. And then I'm going to use a little bit of that off the pencil directly onto the brush to take it through the socket a little bit. So if you look up for me, Sarah, as well, I'm going to take that a little bit under the eye. And the nice thing with this kind of makeup, I actually think the more kind of roughly applied, the better it looks in terms of being more rock and roll and a bit more slept in, even a little bit more grungy. You know, it's almost like elegant grunge, I'd call this. So next I'm going to take the Maybelline, the Nudes eye palette. I think this is a really good palette actually. I did a blog post on this, which I'll link below. And I'm actually going to go in with one of the more matter shades, just kind of through the crease and again, just to smoke it out a little bit more. So I'm taking a NARS number 13 brush and I'm going to nestle that into the socket to darken this a little bit more, taking it quite high up and a little bit into the inner corner. And I'm just taking that same eyeshadow and I'm actually pulling the look out a little bit so that it becomes a little bit smokier and a bit elongated as well. So I'm going to take a Sigma Firm shader and I'm going to dip that into another one of the kind of matte colours. I'm going to take that under the eye as well, so if you look up for me, Sarah. So just to bring a little bit of the smokiness down onto the bottom lash. So next thing I'm going to use is the bold black waterproof eyeliner from Barry M, which I absolutely love. This is such a good pencil. If you look up for me, Sarah, so I'm going to go in with black now. And again, you know, you can make this look less intense. You could use a dark chocolate brown if you want. You could use something much less intense. But I think if I'm going to be going with this idea of kind of almost like Gothic Glam meets elegant grunge, this is the way I would interpret the look. So I'm just doing little dots and then I'm taking that shader brush again and I'm just going to pull that into the eye. So little messy dots again, don't think about being perfect, just keep it quite loose and just use your brush, or you could even use a cotton bud just to blend it out a little bit. And then I'm going to take the same with the black as well. I'm going to take that on the top of the eye, so if you close for me. So I'm going to take that along the top lid. Again, you can use little messy dots if that's easier. And then I'm just going to blend that in. So you've got a really nice dark smoky lash line. And once this sets again as well, this powder pencil kind of doesn't go anywhere. It's really long lasting. So it's great for a night out or a party look. So now I'm going to take this colour, which is like a little bit of a sort of minky silvery colour. I'm going to take that on a buffing brush. If you close your eyes for me, so I'm just going to run that again over the crease just to kind of soften a little bit and bring a little bit of the luminosity back into the eye. And when you get towards the inner corner of the eyebrow, just use it in small circular motions. So for eyebrows, I'm going to use another colour from this Maybelline palette, and I actually quite like this one mixed with this matte colour is really, really good. So I'm going to use two of the lighter matte shades. And because I've gone a lot darker on Sarah's eyebrows, I can actually afford to go a tiny bit darker because her eyes are a little bit darker. So I'm just going to thread a little bit of this through, and I'm actually going to thicken up the eyebrow a little bit as well. Just filling in what's already there. and just thickening up slightly. Just giving Sarah a little bit of a higher arch here, and then just pulling it down on the outer corner a little bit. And I can extend it out a little bit longer because we've kind of pulled the eye out a little bit. So don't be afraid just to take the brow out a little bit more, just so you get the length on the brow. So I've just curled Sarah's lashes, and I'm going to use a bit of the Falsifeye Mascara by 17, which I really love for nice kind of clumpy rock and roll lashes. So if you turn that way for me, Sarah, and look up. So first of all, you can always use a smaller brush if you find this big brush a bit too much for the bottom lashes. But I'm just going to wiggle that through, and I'm not going to worry about them looking too perfect. I almost want a few lashes a little bit clumpy. And then just lift and apply lots of mascara to the top lashes as well. So moving on to concealer, I'm going to use a bit of the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in number 10. And I'm going to use this under the eyes and a little bit around the nose. And I find with this concealer, when you kind of blend it, it actually goes a little bit lighter than what it looks. So don't be alarmed if you feel like it looks a bit too warm for your skin tone. And I'm just using that under the eye. Don't want to disturb the kind of smokiness you've already created. So just do it in small little dots if that's easier. And I'm just using a Real Technique setting brush just to buff that into the skin. So I'm going to add a little bit of cream blush in the cheeks. I'm going to use Make Me Blush by Barry M. I really, really like these cream blushes. They have like a little roll-up ball. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that onto the cheeks just to add a little bit of subtle colour. And then using my foundation brush, I'm just going to buff those in again a little bit as well. And I think with the smoky eye, you want a little bit of colour, but more about kind of a chiselled contour cheek or a bit more bronzy. So Sarah's got a little bit more of a tan from when I last saw her anyway. So I'm just going to use this and then a little bit of contour. And this blends in really nice. For me, if I'm using a cream blush, I like it to have the formula of a cream blush. I'm not a massive fan of kind of cream to powder blushes. I like the dewiness you get with a cream blush. So I'm going to take one heck of a Blot by Soap & Glory on a small brush. And I'm just going to take a little bit of powder down the centre of the face and a little bit around the sides of the nose. I like the sheen on the top of the nose, so I'm going to keep that. Just taking the powder, a little bit on the chin, and I'm going to use the Maybelline. This is the Master Sculpt. In the shade 2, I absolutely love this contour. I've been using it loads on myself. The highlight shade I'm not so fussed about, but it's the contour shade in this is really, really good. And I'm going to use the Tapered Face Brush by Sigma for this, which has a really nice kind of point on it. So if you turn the other way for me, Sarah. So I'm just going to nestle that into the hollows of the cheeks and just add that little bit of sculpt. And this brush is nice, it kind of blends it out as you use it. And if you just follow almost like from the top of the ear downwards, that's a really nice way to get a good contour. And then to finish the lips, I'm just going to take another colour from the Rimmel Nude collection by Kate Moss, and this is number 42. And I'm just going to use it from the bullet because I don't want, again, I think with this look it shouldn't look too perfect. So I'm just taking a bit of that over the lip. If you turn that way for me, darling, and close and smile. And just taking a little bit into the Cupid's bow, just with the bullet though. And these are quite moisturising, but you can kind of use your finger to mattify it a little bit, or just blend that in so it looks a bit more lived in. So that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial, all with Drugstore makeup. I'm not sure what the title of this is going to be yet. I imagine something along the lines of grungy elegance, and it's a little bit sort of Gothic Glam. So I hope you enjoy the look, guys. If you're going to try out the look, make sure you @ me in @HarryMakesItUp, and I'll see you soon for more videos. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.